Boiz have been sent back to the year 2018 to create the only drug capable of curing the disease. The Relativity Podcast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Relativity Boiz. There's the clap.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the intro?
I think so. I think it works. You know, it's short, it's sweet. You know,
Yeah.
we're going for. I think this episode we're going for a little bit more of a
Talk show setting.
talk show, a bit more of a relaxed vibe.
more,
yeah.
So-
It's night time. We're recording this.
It's almost nap time as well.
Yeah, it's way past our bedtimes.
Way past our bedtimes. Okay, so just to be, kind of throw a disclaimer out there, we did record a whole
Transparent.
episode, which we're not gonna upload because we did go political again, and I feel insecure about what I said, and I don't want anyone to get offended by my hate speech that I feel like I shouldn't go into detail about. So we're not gonna do that.
Yeah, and I respect Kalofa's decision on that. So that was an hour and a half long, and we just decided to roll again after we've had some food.
We might upload it in the future if we feel like we need a throwaway episode here or there, or we.
It's not exactly a filler episode, but it will be used as filler.
We're gonna use it for the Christmas special.
Oh yeah, leave that under your tree.
Yeah, so
it was highly political, and we just want to keep it a little bit more light. So yeah, we'll talk about our usual fare. I think we'll just stick to safe things we can actually comment on, like music, video games, film, media.
No, we don't. We want to be controversial, but we don't want to make anyone feel bad because our opinions make them feel bad. So we're going to try to stay away from that as much as possible. And Myles wants to talk a bit about Fallout 74.
76.
76?
74 is the prequel. It comes out in a few years, probably.
Yeah.
In the last podcast, if you haven't listened to it, go and listen to it and then come back. It's only an hour. It's nothing. But so I was thinking about earlier on this week, I've watched a bit more gameplay of it. And, last week I was kind of saying that I wasn't sure about how I felt about it. I didn't really have enough information on it. And I was already had a slightly negative opinion of it because it's multiplayer, and I was disappointed by that.
Deja vu over here. It's
I know,
like
we've already
talked about
we've already talked about this. Just to stay with me, Clover.
Yeah.
I'll try and throw in something different for you.
Please
Keep it
do.
interesting. I've watched a bit more gameplay, and now I'm thinking it's probably more of a 7 out of 10 for me now.
7 out of 10.
Yeah, and I'm not comparing that to other games.
7 out of 10 what?
7 out of 10 atomic bombs.
Okay.
So I'm comparing that to other Fallout games. I'm not comparing it to any of the games because I think it's difficult to compare this to other games.
To the Bethesda multiplayer games, how do you compare that?
Are there many other Bethesda?
Elder Scrolls Online.
I didn't get a chance to play that. I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast before.
We did mention it last time.
Yeah. So I bought it, but I couldn't play it. So
why?
Because Steam doesn't communicate with Bethesda's launcher properly, and I don't know.
They should have straight communication through ICQ or Skype or whatever they use because they are old people in there.
Or just start a podcast and have a good conversation together.
Yeah. So on the topic of podcasts, we just want to encourage anybody else who's willing to do this. They can come on the show. Mm-hmm. Again, you must be physically in my room to do it properly and to appear with your face on this beautiful video stream, which we're gonna upload to the free website of YouTube. Yeah. So what you can do in order to support us, which we are in need of financial help, but if you want to support us in any other way, you can hit the subscribe button and hit the bell button so you get notifications as soon as these babies pop up. And
Ding.
We are always coming at you with fresh, new, interesting discussions on the topics of science fiction, games, and most importantly, the music industry
Yeah, but not politics.
and movies, not
We've
politics.
just
Staying
started
away
to draw
from
the line there now.
that. A line in the sand.
Yeah, I think that when we started like discussing this, I was kind of interested in the idea of maybe talking politics with you, but I think it's interesting to listen to, but it's not fun to listen to.
No.
And I don't know.
It is not fun to do it as well. Because
It's not as fun as like
We're doing it again.
when we get into talking. Yeah, well, not really. I think that when we're talking about music and stuff like that, we have a bit of a fun discussion
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
But when it gets into politics, it is serious. You know, it's not like we're falling out with each other or arguing properly or anything like that. But I don't know. It just doesn't feel as fun. And I want this to be, you know, nice and
isn't.
lighthearted. And
it isn't. It's not fun.
Yeah.
So on the unuploaded episode, we did a brief discussion about Anthony Fantano of the Needle Drop.
oh yeah,
Which
yeah, yeah.
I might have been too harsh on. I retrace my steps on dissing him. I don't diss him.
You see, you've had something to eat, and now you've changed your mind.
It's Snickers change you, man.
Yeah,
Just
you know,
grab a
it's
Snickers,
that,
feeling hungry. Yeah,
blood sugar.
blood sugar.
Blood sugar.
It's the fish I ate because I'm a vegetarian. And
Pescatarian.
whatever that is. So I do. If Anthony Fantano is out there listening to me, I have a band. He has a SoundCloud profile with some sick ass ambient and dancey tunes. Listen to those, and if you don't, we're gonna find you and probably stab you to death with an icicle.
Great. Now we need to cut this episode as well. Not really. We love you, Anthony. Well, I do.
I don't
love
as
you.
much. I don't. But you do great pull-ups, and I'm inspired by you. I do pull-ups as well. I have a great body.
He has great arms that he
Body
does not
discipline.
use for stabbing.
With popsicles, icicles. In the winter, it's -3 degrees, and you just gotta go and do it.
You need to get a lawyer if you're going to keep on saying these things.
Disclaimer:
Disclaimer.
we're not gonna stab anyone with anything. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're pacifists like that.
Another disclaimer just for me. I'm not Kalofa and I don't say these things.
What do you mean you're not Kalofer?
What, do you mean I am Kalofa?
Yeah.
Shit. Why did I just say
Damn.
what I was going to...
Damn.
Wow.
Okay, so
I like to think that
yeah.
we're all a little bit of Kalofa.
my dad is
Yeah.
quite literally
Because you're the
he has
2.0
this-
version.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way with my family. I'm the original Myles.
Yeah.
Actually,
Deacon,
well,
Myles
yeah,
Deacon.
Myles. I'm the original Myles Deacon.
I can give you his phone number, his address, and whatever else you might require from a Myles Deacon. I can arrange that because I have some connections.
Sometimes you've got to ask yourself, not what can I do for Myles Deacon, but what can Myles
you
Deacon
can
do for me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that a couple
Yeah.
of times actually.
Yeah, well, he gets out through like the film industry because
I
I'm so
was-
well known, you know.
Yeah. I was, as usual, because I'm a devout Christian.
Oh.
And I was in my neighborhood church, and you know the pastor is going on and on. It's like 2 hours. He's like, "Whoa, it's not what."
Is he like overboiling to the point where like the pasta was getting soggy and
Quite literally soggy, and he's like, "It's not what you can do for Myles. It's like what Myles can do for you,
yeah,
Myles Deacon."
that's what networking's all about, you know?
Yeah. So then we singed in the choir, and then I came home, prayed to my altar of you,
Yeah, yeah.
and
And now we have this podcast.
slapped myself across the leg a couple of times just to be sure that I'm alive and well. And
Yeah, a
it's-
lot of people do that because I'm so funny.
yeah, yeah.
You know?
It's quite literally a code of
Yeah.
personality. That is,
Yeah.
like socialism. And
I
Stalin
don't think
and
that there are enough cults based around me.
I think we should definitely work towards getting a couple of more codes based on the creature that is Myles Deacon.
Yeah. I actually I don't know why, but I quite liked being referred to as a creature then.
Yeah. I was gonna. I was waiting for you to say that you like the idea of having a code based around you.
I
but,
do.
but
Yeah.
you didn't
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
for
so
that.
I
You-
went for
you-
the creature
for the
thing
creature
instead,
thing,
yeah.
right? Whatever your
I think
kink is, man. I
that
don't-
says something about my mental state and ego at the minute.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, start a cult about me.
An enigma, a creature,
Yeah.
creature of the night, creature of the cove.
I was quite literally messaging someone the other day, and it said, "My body is an enigma." That wasn't even a
There we
flirt.
go,
That was
folks.
just a normal message.
It's just a normal message.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're around 10 minutes in without me actually
Okay.
doing anything offensive in any way. So
Yeah.
I think it's about time I say something offensive.
Oh boy.
You ready for this?
I'm not recording another podcast of this. This one is going up.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I feel quite friendly and safe.
Friendly.
I'm in my safe space. There is I shared it on my Facebook wall, my Facebook wall, because I'm so hooked up on Facebook and social media, and I can
Get it in my
barely,
veins.
yeah, I can barely stand like 15 minutes without actually getting my Facebook fixed, and I need to love react to every shitty meme I see out there. Shitty is not a censored word, is it?
If he was on a radio station, it would be, but we're not on a radio station yet.
Probably. Okay, so
Foreboding.
I'm just browsing my Facebook, and I see this guy from KOF, Adam, and he's a drummer of a band called The Unresolved. And so apparently they, like you do, you have a normal day, you prepare for a gig, you have a gig in another town, and you're quite enthusiastic about it, and you go and you're going to play this gig, and there's probably going to be a lot of people, so you're like very hyped about it. The energy is very high, and you just go in there, and understandably, you're passionate about what you're doing, and the venue calls you, and they say like, we've sold a lot of tickets, be prepared for a kick-ass gig, and you're all in, and you're ready.
I really miss that. If there's like one thing about like the music I'm doing at the minute and not performing live, I really miss all that feeling.
Yeah, and you go backstage and you do makeup and whatnot, because you're like
a Kiss tribute act.
Yeah. Definitely a Kiss tribute act, and you're quite eccentric as well, so you gotta put all sorts of splashy stuff on your face, and you go there, and this guy comes
Put cologne in your eyes.
You're heating up for this guy, and he sold every venue out there. He's American, he comes in UK tour, and nobody turns up. There's nobody turning up.
So, Cliff, why did no one turn up? But they had sold out of tickets.
Well, this guy, who I should not name. Let's let him be unnamed.
No. The thing is, I think
fame.
that he's doing this because he wants to be named and because he wants to get followers or he wants people to listen to his music if he's got any out there. So yeah, let's not give him the privilege of.
I'm not gonna
mentioning
name
his
him.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so Mr. I'm gonna get offensive now.
Let's just call him Mr. Music Man.
Mr. Music Man from America. He's American, right? I didn't get that.
Yeah.
He's
That's why I was surprised why
apparently
he was
goes around with his agent, which that's a mystery right now. It's still unresolved.
Oh.
Whether he has a manager or not, or he himself declares himself as a manager or agent or whatnot. Goes on, books a venue, and the lovely creature that he is, Mr. Music Man, lies about the ticket sales. So this way he gets onto every venue he needs to go into.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately for him, they don't actually go to his concerts because these ticket sales don't happen. So the venues are obviously pissed off, the band is pissed off, but there's nothing you can do, can you? Except like there's a lot of media outrage right now.
Yeah,
There's,
like I mean, I've seen local newspapers, so hopefully these gig venues have caught onto it now.
Hopefully.
So he won't be able to do it again, but I don't know.
Not sure about it.
But the thing that I find funny about it is that you can sort of get away with this online,
He's ridiculous.
but you can't just sort of have a bunch of, I don't know what they're called, like Smurfs, like non-accounts, like, you know, when you pay for follows on Twitter or something like, you can't just have bots turn up to a gig because they literally don't exist in the real world.
I think he had likes on his Facebook page as well. So
Yeah, because they were bought. They
so
were paid
like
for.
his online profiles are followed. He has some traction going his way. So if you were to believe the internet, this guy is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And there is this slogan behind. He has a poster with his tour dates and whatnot. And the tour name is "Breaking the World." He's
Wow.
breaking the world.
he's done something to the world.
So in recent news, Mr. Music Man, you're a terrible human being, and
You're not helping any music industry.
not helping himself as well.
I really do not understand.
I should probably put a
Why?
link to an article so people can get more familiarized
Yeah.
with what we're talking about. Because
And
I mean, I've just seen people react to it, and I'm reacting to it myself.
if anybody knows this guy or has contact with him, tell him, ask him, or get him to
Give him a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah, give him a kiss on the cheek and just whisper into his ear, "Hey, can you message the Relativity Boiz?" Because one, I would like to have him on the podcast, but two, I just want to know what he thinks this is going to achieve, because it doesn't make any sense to me.
Doesn't make any sense.
Apart from generating publicity and maybe getting people onto your streaming site once, but surely it'd be better just to do it a legitimate way and build up audiences. But who's got the time for that?
No.
I don't know. I just really do
So,
not understand it.
Mr. Music Man, thank you for your contribution to the music industry. We are grateful forever for your comedic existence, because it's quite funny.
Yeah,
and
it is.
It's like watching there's these pictures of kids, babies, little children, and in rooms, and they have like markers and pencils, and they've painted their whole bodies, and they've also painted on the walls and stuff like. It's like that bad of a train wreck. I feel like.
Yeah, it's sort of like the Hindenburg, but nobody got on it in the first place.
Funny thing, he got famous though. It
Yeah,
worked
that's the
out
thing.
in the end.
Like this whole "there's no such thing as bad publicity" thing works so well these days. That's why you have
Maybe
people
we should
like
upload the
Keepstone.
episode after all then.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I just think that, yeah.
No.
If you like, I don't know. No, it's our decision not to upload that. So But let's. So we're talking about music, right?
Music.
So what have you been listening to this week?
I think I went a little bit back to basics with my music choices this week. Wasting Light by the Foo Fighters has been on my daily agenda for the past week.
Yeah.
And as this goes, the vocally and lyrically, the album opens up with a very nice scream by Mr. Grown himself, saying, "These are my favorite. These are my famous last words." And I think I haven't been vibing with a phrase or with a vocal bit like that in a while. It's just raw scream.
Yeah.
And
Primal.
he doesn't really do that in the rest of the record. I mean, it is hard rock-ish, like alternative rock-ish. Foo Fighters are nice. And I have heard and enjoyed that album before, but I think I'm resonating with it on another level currently.
Yeah.
Bridges.
I mean, that happens, doesn't it? Like when you enter like a new mental state or something, you just hear something, it just clicks all of a sudden.
Yeah, and Rope is on there as well. I think it's one of the best albums they've released. It might be the best album they've released.
Is that the one with My Hero on it?
Yeah.
That's a good
I
one.
think it is. Not sure. But that's a good song as well. Yeah.
You see, if you follow Kalofa's Instagram account in the description below,
Yep.
you see, in his story, he puts up what he's listening to. So,
Yeah.
if you
Because
just
I'm
want
a person that's seeking attention almost 24/7. So, pay attention to me, please.
please,
Subscribe to my podcast YouTube channel.
follow me on Twitter.
Follow me
Let's
on
share
Twitter
some really funny memes.
That sounds. Follow Myles at Instagram at Voivoda.
You just confused all the boys and girls at home. So I've been. I kind of went back to basics a little bit this week. I started
As
off.
well?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Well, I mean, I started off by listening to a little bit of prog rock from the 80s. Being my stereotypical self.
80s man from the future.
Yeah. So I was listening to a band called It Bites. It Bites.
It bites. Yeah. Whoa.
But then I started.
Bite it.
I was craving something with a little bit more aggression to it, a little bit more bite to it, a little bit more loud. So I was listening to some
Do it live.
bit of a Metallica's latest album.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah! Because we haven't done that
to
yet.
Self-destruct.
Yeah. I did not like it when it first came out.
You did not, and I was disappointed in you,
Yeah.
and I think you've come around, haven't you?
Absolutely. I think it was a definite grower for me.
Nice.
As
What's
all
your
the best
favorite tune from that?
Murder One.
It's a good one. The breakdown, I think it has
Yeah.
a breakdown in there. Yeah,
And
the
it's,
music
you know,
is
it's a tribute to Lemmy.
Oh yeah, that was the Lemmy one. I think I'm thinking of another one because
Are you thinking of Moth into the Flame?
Moth into the Flame. I think is my
Atlas
favorite
Rise?
one. Atlas one is my other favorite. Atlas Rise is my other favorite.
The
one.
other one that stands out to me
It
is
was S something.
Mankind.
Oh yeah, Mankind.
But-
That's the one with the breakdown. With the,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I really like about this album is they've done something with Hetfield's vocals, and
It's
just
softer than usual. Softer.
yeah, but it's still in the right places. It's got the right amount of edge. Yeah.
Where's my coffee? Keep doing it.
Where's my whiskey in the jar? But the only problem.
I'll get another one. Where are my sight, hearing, taste, and feel?
What?
You don't know that one? That's one. It's quite
What was it?
One by Metallica.
Oh, cut the shit off from me.
Absolute horror. I cannot live.
I cannot. Yeah. Okay, I follow. Just a little bit slow on the uptake on that one.
Yeah, I sound like a retard to explain that as well. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. I
It's-
mean,
yeah.
when you're slightly retarded, you do sometimes have trouble with people, and
Well, I mean,
I've kind of embraced that in my life because it's something to work.
to be fair, we've just recorded the most intense hour and a half podcast. Went and had some food and recharged the phone, and then came back up to do this one on
Yeah.
a Sunday, and we were already both pretty tired anyway.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's how much we're serious. How serious we are about
Yeah.
this podcast deal.
look at our endurance.
Yeah.
Radio stations
We just
hire us.
We just want everybody to feel good about it and to listen to us and our beautiful, well edited and well mixed voices and our quite beautiful, well created by our parents' faces.
Yeah, well lit faces as well.
Well,
We've got
yeah.
a nice light over there.
We've got a light body over there, giving us a proper shine,
A glow.
a proper glow, a proper like liberal existence for both of us. Because
I don't need any more of a liberal existence.
he doesn't. That's a lie, though. He does. He
Yeah.
enjoys being a liberal so hard.
I just, just to have one little political pop in here. I think no matter where you are on the spectrum, politically, everyone can laugh at anarchists.
Yeah.
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 What do they believe in? Not
Nothing.
pushing the microphone. Yeah, exactly.
It's like
The thing
get
is,
something
right?
to believe in.
It's just
Please.
if you got rid of the police and the social structure that we had,
There would be no Roxanne or no message in a bottle.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
no Stink.
yep.
Shape of My Heart.
See, I got that one.
Englishman in New York. Huh?
Yeah, but most importantly, most of the people would be dead within a week.
Desert Rose.
Yeah. So, he really likes killing.
Stink.
Sting, yeah.
It's
It's worrying. He's the Zodiac killer.
Do you know he was born in Warwick, which is just a couple of miles away from here?
Just over there.
Just down the road. They have a castle,
Yeah, a very nice castle.
a very nice castle. They have some wax figures inside. Anne Boleyn, King Henry VIII.
Bastard.
Cool guy.
Just putting that out there.
I don't like you. I'm gonna kill you.
Hey, cut your head off. Why are we doing Scottish? He wasn't Scottish. I am King Henry VIII. I'm gonna marry a wife and then cut her head off.
Tell you what, I like you now. Just imagine you sitting there.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm bored.
Yeah, and then the woman that he's just said that to has just gone, oh no! That sounded like a hard clip. It's straight. Your ears can deal with it. Whatever.
Oh no.
So I was kind of thinking about some of the topics that we were talking about. Because we're We're trying not to cover the same ground as what we covered in the
Never
last
step
podcast.
in the same snow mark which you left with your foot twice.
Unless you're trying to
played that
confuse
game.
someone.
You don't really get snow in here, but I
No.
really. No, actually, I like stepping on already done snow pads
You
because
could,
you don't.
You don't get anyone following you.
Yeah,
But the thing is, you can play that in Coventry or anywhere in the United Kingdom. You just go into any city centre
it's a kingdom.
and try not to step in any piss in the street. It's difficult.
It's difficult. It's puke rather than piss.
Yeah,
if you ask me.
It's like
I,
the floor is bodily
just
fluids.
yesterday, I was outside for the amount of 20 minutes. I went to the bus station and back, and for that 20-minute period, I saw 2 piles of puke and one puking guy,
Wow.
which makes it a third pile of puke. So
Was it just him leaving these bits of puke around the city centre?
I don't think so, but he had 2 guys next to him talking about food while he was puking. So that's what I call resilience, man. That's
how
proper mindfulness.
That is how a lot of people feel about the new Fallout game.
Nice.
Noise.
Yeah.
Noise.
So today is a very special day.
Why is that?
It's Myles' birthday.
No.
Okay, so I read a post, which I don't know how many people are familiar with the art and science of numerology. So that's numbers and their meaning in a very esoteric manner. So, for instance, I'm gonna give a quick overview because I'm quite passionate about the esoteric sciences and.
No, I don't think a lot of
crafts
people in our English listeners probably won't be quite as familiar with it. I don't think.
So for whomever doesn't know me personally and doesn't know this, I am an esoteric guy and I do tarot readings. My mom's a fortune teller. Quite literally, that's has been her profession for my whole existence. So I know a lot about stuff, and so this a little bit that
Quote Clover. I know a lot about stuff.
a lot about magics, let's say, or at least superstitions. So for some people,
Very superstitious.
yes. So today is the 11th as we record this. So it will go up on the 11th as well.
We're going to try.
We're gonna do
It's,
our darn best to upload it. So you're gonna have a
now,
couple of minutes for whoever sees it, for whoever missed it, the episode on the 11th. You're gonna know about this because it's
You've missed your opportunity for
apparently,
change.
So numerology. I'm gonna give you a quick overview. So let's say the number 1. You have the number 1, which it has a symbolic kind of meaning behind it. It's like you're the first one. You're if for instance you're born on the first date of the month, or the sum of your birth numbers accumulates to the number 1. There is a special way of calculating that. You're, for instance, very have a leadership ability, very competitive. You're gonna be the first one, quite literally, in every sense, to achieve something. You're gonna be like a lone wolf in a sense, whereas to the number 2 signifies balance, because it balances the one out. It is the second number. It signifies kinship, and so on and so on. So we get to the number 11, which is my number, because I'm a very special guy on this planet. I'm not Myles Deacon, the famous
No.
cult leader.
You don't get a cult.
I don't get a cult, but I do have the number 11 in my number in numbers. So
Technical term, Edge.
it's I'm thinking, translating, and speaking at the same time. So it's I should be forgiven for any any mistakes
harsh,
I make. Don't be so harsh. So it's the 11th of November, which is another is the 11th month,
Which is also
of-
Remembrance Sunday.
which is also Remembrance Sunday, and it's the 2018. So if we do a little bit of numerology maths, we get 2 plus 1 plus 8. 1 plus 8 equals 9, and 9 plus 2 equals 11. So all in all, we have the 11th of 11th of 11 today. So I read an article about it, which is pure New Age stuff. So a lot of people might not stomach this very well because there is a lot of devout religious people who follow like Christianity and whatnot, and they don't go well with superstitions. And the New Age way of thinking is very difficult to engage with them, and they have troubles engaging with chakras and whatnot. But it's been through the internet. It's been kind of everywhere in recent years, hasn't it? Like mindfulness, meditation, the Eastern sciences. And
well, I mean, you don't even need to be religious to practice mindfulness and stuff like that. I do that to deal with
definitely always
some anger issues.
I think if I wanna do any propaganda in my life, I think it's got to be connected with mindfulness and meditation. To be honest, it's funny we haven't actually talked about this on the podcast yet. So because I like to keep it to myself. If anyone wants to do it, I'm willing to share whatever I think and I believe, but I don't. For instance, there's a Jewish mysticism called the Kabbalah, and I was reading this book.
That's a nice word.
And what it says on there is they keep it very a big secret. They don't like to. It's an oral tradition as well. They don't write it down. But whoever decides to learn it, they're gonna share it with them. But they won't go out of their way to share what.
Sounds like they could do with the podcast.
What knowledge they have, but they don't have a podcast, and the lucky 20 listeners enjoying our natural voices. So the 11th, which is today, and starting from today, there's supposed to be a big shift in consciousness, and like it's like an evolutionary step for the whole of the human race. I won't go into detail. You can Google it for yourselves because I'm not gonna go for the preachy thingy. I myself am not sure how much I participate in this belief, but it's a good thing to dwell upon when you go to bed after you listen to the podcast, like positivity and just transformation in a positive manner, just getting rid of your subconscious negativity.
It's not something that you would necessarily have to like devoutly believe in, but there's nothing wrong with just accepting a little bit more positivity into your life.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I find with like, especially with like the mindfulness sort of stuff, you know, there's nothing wrong with just sitting there for a while and just taking your mind off stuff by just being in the present.
Even thinking that a lot of people don't really have the time to think nowadays. You know, it's just everything's so fast paced and
stream of data straight into your face.
Yeah, exactly. You're consuming information that is just here 1 second, then it's gone the other, and you're just like browsing, and it's everything is so fast paced, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Everything is so temporary.
Yeah.
We live in a temporary society.
Actually. That's something interesting. This is a bit of a segue because I was thinking about this earlier on in the week. The effect that the internet's had on culture. Because I was thinking like, Jesus, just like 5 years ago, people were wearing cardigans and silly little hats and big thick glasses without any glass in them, any lenses in them, just because it was trendy. And now it's like being goth is kind of in.
Oh.
And you know,
I'm not familiar with that. That goth people scare me.
Really?
We did speak about goth people in the last podcast as well,
we
so
did.
It's kind of a throwback.
Because it's popular, it's in at the minute, you know. But what I'm saying is like 5 years, that's quite a long, that's not a long time. And it just...
Are you talking about hipsters with the glasses and the...
yeah, kind of a little bit, but that kind of became
Hipster
a little
culture.
bit more mainstream in like 2012, that sort of time.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't know if it's just because I'm only just coming to a bit more of like a mindfulness mindset where I'm like focusing and like looking at things a little bit more in depth, but
Just stopping for a second to think about
it
life
just
and
everything just seems to have gone so fast. Like the past 5 years have just completely vanished. I think that might have been because I was too focused on like like small things like university and sixth form, college, stuff that you know does matter, but took me out of the present a little bit. And now it just feels like the last 5 years have just... I think that like meme culture and stuff like that really pushes stuff on. It's just insane how quickly things move now.
It's about... Because we can put it in the context of the music industry as well. This whole temporary lifestyle we're living, it's about oversaturation.
Yeah.
It's about everyone's access to digital software and cheap equipment just to go and become yourself a content creator. And we are at the verge of having more creators than we have experiencers in a sense. Than we have.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody is...
It's like why there's like that there's a bit of a joke, like, everyone's got a podcast, or every white boy's got a podcast, It's like, yeah. But it's because it's so easy to do. And, start a podcast. It's good fun. It's helped me with my confidence as well.
Give us a shout out.
Yeah, give us a share, give us a like, give us a comment.
Ring
give
the
us
bell.
A subscribe, ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
That's innuendo. Ring my bell.
But I mean, like you can tell with music, like when you listen to something from 5 years ago, like somebody that I used to know, that Gautier song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody would make something like that now. Somebody that I used to know. But yeah, you just don't. I don't think anybody would write a track like that now and get it into the charts.
People are trying though. Like Arctic Monkeys have that experimental thing with the elevator music.
Yeah, but they're already kind of quite popular. I mean, like somebody that just comes out of nowhere with a track that sounds like Gautier would not make it.
Hey, Gautier!
Hey, you Gautier!
What you doing, my friend? You Gautier!
It's not even. He's Australian.
Is that Australian? It's funny how
Australian,
That's Australian.
Yeah, Max.
Just keep thinking of the Team Fortress sniper.
Oh yeah,
with the jar of piss.
Yeah.
Debuffs you. That's a good game.
Yeah.
I remember my time on Team Fortress fondly.
So how similar do you think Team Fortress is to stuff like Overwatch? Is it influenced, or is it taken a bit too much from it, or is it just something completely different? Because I never really played Team Fortress.
People really compare Overwatch to being a bootleg Team Fortress.
I think it's such an
but
easy.
I think it's taken. It's a mixture between MOBA games and Team Fortress in a sense that it's more quakey. It's actually more quakey than it is Team Fortressy, because it's very fucking. I did it.
It's alright. I've swore as well.
I did. Oh, okay. We tried not swearing just so.
Yeah,
so
but we're not really trying. We can try harder. We've been at this for like 3 hours now. But actually,
it's all blur.
What's wrong?
It's our second week recording a second podcast as well.
I know. Oh my god, it is.
Maybe we should
we've done,
be more cautious.
We've already done like 2 hours of material that we've either lost. We can't send this one out to radio stations. We sound so unprofessional. But whilst we're talking about Blizzard, actually, this is something I wanted to bring up. We didn't talk about in the podcast that we've decided not to upload.
Yeah.
BlizzCon, when they announced the new Diablo
the
mobile game.
one. Yeah.
So, what do you think about?
Haven't seen anything. I've seen just the.
What
backlash.
do you think about? Yeah. What do you think about the backlash? As a Blizzard fan,
I can understand why people are angry about them releasing a mobile game, and I think I am angry a little bit as well, because Diablo 3 has been in limbo for the past couple of years.
Yeah,
it's been treated very poorly. Some people would argue that the Reaper of Souls expansion was revitalizing in a sense for the game, but I didn't vibe with it very much. So instead of them actually looking after what they've already done, like Valve, so that's a good comparison. You have CSGO and Dota 2 and even Team Fortress, which is supposed to be dead now, but they still release patches every couple of months. So instead of them taking care of their game, they have decided to just let it rot.
So
and do a mobile game for what reason I don't know. Maybe because they saw the success of Hearthstone.
Yeah, and like Fallout Shelter, the Fallout mobile game.
Oh, but that was good though.
That's the best.
And it was like a companion for Fallout 4.
Well, it's the most downloaded game Bethesda have ever made. I mean, yeah, it's free and the thing is, it's free and it's accessible to everyone because more people have phones than they do like gaming equipment.
I actually was pretty hardcore at that.
Yeah, I was as well for a while.
I was almost at like nothing could have, and then they released a patch where you could explore. Other stuff, and
that was like the year-on patch, I think.
Yeah, and I lost all my data somehow. I should probably check if I still have it, but all my people are probably going to be dead anyways, because if you...
Well, no, it pauses after 2 minutes.
Does it?
Yeah, of not playing. Yeah.
I'm not sure, because I think I've lost them once or twice.
Well, you can play it on the computer now.
Anyways, I can understand why they've went for a mobile game, because you've got people in China as well, because that's a big, huge market. When I was in Hong Kong, swag, flex, it was very amusing to me seeing how everyone, every class of people financially, they had phones, smartphones, iPhones, whatever. They were just walking with their phones, not even looking up. They've mastered the art of walking.
Well,
with a
you know what
phone.
they're doing there, don't you?
No.
They've got their camera open on the phone and they're looking where they're going through the phone.
No.
Oh, yeah. No, they're not really.
Okay.
Well, I mean, they might be.
That was going to be very strange and very weird.
Like, just as like, I don't know, a prank or something, we should just go out and do that one day.
Yeah.
Just make it really obvious that we're just looking where we're going through our phones.
Record it as well.
Yeah. Or like, we should get a cheap VR headset and you could be like holding a VR camera and me with the headset on. Like, okay, where am I going now?
And I'm... No. I've got to upgrade for that. I'm holding a I'm with a GoPro on my forehead. Recording my phone, and you're getting the GoPro feed on your VR headset, and we're also bumping into people. Like
that would be so uncomfortable.
That's gonna be the whole thing, though. Like we make a conscious effort to annoy people.
Yeah, that you're deliberately trying to get them to walk into people.
Why the fuck are you doing it?
Which way are you going, you shit?
Yeah, something like that. So
British people are all like that as well.
But I've seen a lot of people with their phones on the sidewalks here as well. So I think it's a global thing. It's not just
for me, it
China.
was surreal when, when Pokemon Go came out.
Oh yeah,
and
AR
there
is
was
surreal.
But there was a couple of nights where I went out and like Broadgate in the middle of our city centre, there were just people sat around on their phones, like big groups of them.
Yeah,
it was just, I don't know. There was something kind of
creepy
about
dystopian.
it. Yeah. I was going to say, it's nice to see people that play video games all coming together, but it wasn't. It was like...
It will never be.
Go to a pub and talk to each other,
Go to a pub and talk to each other.
Sorry, that was... this is just my British culture.
That's British culture right there. Eat some fish and chips and go watch Doctor Who or something like that.
Which, by the way, I'm missing right now.
I am missing... Yeah. I haven't seen anything past the 3rd episode yet.
Oh, you still haven't seen Arachnids?
Shush.
That's the name of the episode.
Yeah. Anyways, Diablo Immortal seems to be receiving a very harsh backlash.
From Blizzard fans. I think that...
Too much.
Yeah, way too... From an outside perspective, I mean, the way I kind of look at it is, the way that I and some people reacted to Fallout 76. But to me, it just seems so much worse because it's like people are pissed off that, I have reevaluated my opinion on Fallout 76 and, I think I overreacted quite a bit. But at the end of the day, these people are crying and getting really angry about the fact that someone's making a new game for them. And they're not even making the game for them. They're creatives themselves, It would be like if we made a track and somebody said, I didn't ask for this. Fuck you. Like, what? It's, I don't know.
No, it's like making a single. No, it's like releasing your game on Dropbox as opposed to Spotify. Or I don't think if that's a good comparison or not, because we are releasing this podcast on
YouTube.
On YouTube and Google Drive, so it's
When we was talking about this earlier, but when we both start working and if we have money left over, the damn government doesn't steal from us.
Doesn't steal anything from us.
But anyway, we might start putting on Spotify and stuff like that.
I think
If we get more listeners
we
as well,
must
maybe.
discuss podcast culture in a quick discussion, like a quick talk about it, because we have tried getting onto SoundCloud, as we discussed in the second episode. We have looked at getting onto Spotify, and what turns out is that you must already have some significant support by at least a label, or just have a name out there. So it's very difficult for podcast startups to get on Spotify, which is the most used audio platform
the thing,
currently.
it's not like... I think for it to be viable, you do have to already have that following.
Yeah.
Because you have to
Have you
invest
seen
money
any
into it.
prices? Because you're the one that looked at
So basically, the way that it really works is that you have to pay a middleman, another site to upload to.
a third
And
party.
then, a third party. And then they upload to Spotify for you. And I understand why Spotify might do that to cut out some I don't know.
Some unwanted content, because this
Yeah.
way you have a filter and you filter through
But
what you're getting on there.
the
So,
thing
for
is-
instance, they won't get any Egyptian hate speech propaganda on Spotify.
Well, no, because that doesn't work. Money does not stop people from putting that content out there, because
Yeah,
this is what annoys me about services like this.
it does stop us because we don't have any money, but
Yeah.
we
And
are
we're not-
producing content. So
Yeah.
for the production value that we have currently, for the tech that we are
Mhm.
using, which everything is ours,
It's a high standard.
it's a high standard. And you're gonna have some famous guy with a iPhone recording his podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, we could literally just upload the phone audio, but we don't.
I think somebody might do that, like, or with a Zoom recorder or something like that. So
Zoom recorders
it's
are pretty good, though, to be fair. But I mean, if you had one between two people, it would sound a bit...
what I'm trying to get across here is that it should be easier for
Well,
podcast producers to
money shouldn't be the thing that stops people from being able to upload anything. I mean, I understand, like, Spotify is a business and that, but they've made their own little ecosystem, economic system around their podcast uploads, which to me is just
it
weird.
is the easiest way of receiving podcast content that we before venturing into this, we have had our little experiences with different podcasts and different podcast.
Well, the podcasts that I
content.
listen to, I do listen to through YouTube anyway.
Yeah, I think because the way that I listen to it, it's always on the go.
Yeah.
So for me, it's very important that I don't spend gigabytes of data to listen to audio.
Yeah. Whereas I normally listen to podcasts when I'm, building settlements in Fallout 4 or
Or
playing a
something
video
like
game.
which is a fine.
Or doing a bit of work.
Like, there's not a correct way to enjoy your
Yeah.
content and entertainment.
It's just, it's... If it was on Spotify and was just audio and it was downloadable, that would work for people like me and people like you.
Yeah.
But for now, our only option is YouTube, really.
Yeah.
It's the only
That's
place
why-
we can
And that's
sustainably
why we're
upload
doing
to.
the video as well, because we can justify the video by the YouTube.
And you people get to
landscape.
see our beautiful faces.
And my aesthetically pleasing room.
Yeah.
Aesthetics.
The pretty poster.
It's a Marshall amp with a. Is that a Gibson or?
I think, yeah. It looks like a Les Paul.
We should do the headstock.
That's the Les Paul, yeah.
Yeah, that's a Gibson headstock. So I'm saying that's the back of a Les Paul Gibson guitar.
Yeah.
Which, because we are mainly a music-based podcast, so
It works.
It works.
It works with the law.
From the future.
Uh-huh.
We have seen the rise and fall of the Gibson company. So there's been talks that Gibson is financially dead.
Yeah. Which is a shame,
It is.
but obvious that it was kind of going to
It's
happen.
understandable. You're selling in a era of less and less guitar purchasing, because people are just not really. As I think did we discuss it, or did we?
We kind of touched on it a little bit. I
We
think.
brushed on it, like musicianship and the art of actual instrumentalism. Just
well, I think that people, one, it's easier to do stuff on the computer now, and it's more, rock music isn't exactly popular anymore. But also, I think the problem with guitar sales is that the second-hand guitar industry is really strong.
It is.
And the longer that Gibson makes guitars, the more and more go into that second-hand industry. So they're kind of making a rod for their own back.
Mm.
And, Fender can survive because they make amps and PAs as well.
Yeah.
So I kind of think that it is Gibson's lack of foresight that this has happened. It's a shame as someone that plays the guitar, but...
It's there's not much interest in guitar nowadays, which I cannot justify. To me, I am very obsessed with guitars. I have been.
Yeah.
It was a steady climb for me because I've been around guitars for a big part of my life now. But for the last 3 years, maybe I have really, really, really obsessed over guitars. So,
well, I mean, for me, it's getting on for about half of my life. I've been playing the guitar now. But I mean, the thing is, we've talked about this before, but not face to face. It'll be interesting to get your reaction on this. But for me, I can't justify a purchase of a guitar that's £1,000 to £3,000 when I could buy a synthesizer for that amount of money, because more goes on inside of a synthesizer, electronically, component-wise, and it's there's more building that goes on into that. It doesn't make any sense for me.
Completely right.
Yeah.
There is a certain price point in which you're getting the namesake, and you're getting the fine craftsmanship behind the guitar, handmade in Texas.
Yeah. But I mean, it's why Epiphone is like down here in price range and Gibson's here, even though they're the same company and they make the same guitars, and there's not really that much difference in quality. There
is a cross point where the Epi and the Gibson meet, and it's usually the Epi is better. I mean, because I was watching the notorious Chapman and
Anderson
and Undertones. It was actually a couple of days ago, so it's quite fresh for me. And they had made a comparison between the most expensive Epiphone they have on store and the cheapest Gibson they have on store, and they were around the same price point. And because the Epi they had was tuned up with Gibson pickups, so it's the same guitar.
Yeah,
it's the same guitar, and it was even it had split coils, so it as functionality goes, it had more to offer at the same price range than a Gibson did. Because that was just ridiculous. A stripped down Les Paul. We're talking about Les Pauls here. So it was a stripped down Les Paul with just dot inlays, as compared to the Epi had some block inlays and stuff like that. It was shinier. The Gibson one didn't have a split coil function. Like the tuner, even the tuners on there, what you call that?
The machine heads.
The machine heads were growers for the Epi and just normal machine heads for the. Which, imagine that it's supposed to be the daughter company, Epiphone, and some interesting trivia which I got from that video, which I'm gonna steal for our podcast right now, because.
What you gonna do about it?
What you gonna do about Chapman? Send us a guitar or two.
We love you.
I'm actually obsessed with one of his models, but
yeah,
I did.
It's not as nice as the other one you sent me though.
Oh, the Yamaha,
It had
the Rev Star,
a brushed copper pick guard.
Yeah, it's the finish on that one. It's you're paying for what the guitar looks like, and
so good looking.
Anyways, so Les Paul, the artist, was very. Picking up steam, very famous at the time, played Epiphone though. So Gibson approached him with the idea of him playing Gibson guitars. So he was very into Epiphones at the time with his wife as well. So he agreed eventually. They started making a prototype guitar for him.
Yeah.
But they couldn't get it to him in time. He was still playing the Epi, and so what they proposed to him is to just send off the Epiphone name on his guitar and just do a print of Gibson on there, and he did that.
It's the sort of thing that a smaller artist these days would not be able to get away with, but the more powerful, popular artists just can.
It's like the tone tests for the gramophones in the early
Yeah.
20th century. The Beatles played Epiphone as well. So as we are on that note, it used to be a huge company until, as capitalist endeavors, and just the bigger fish eats the smaller fish, and smaller fish is, or usually the smarter fish beats the not so smart fish with a club until it can properly
until it can eat it.
Until it can properly digest it.
I don't know. It's just
but having a price range for £20,000 for a guitar in an ecosystem of no guitar players is
it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous,
and it's like
it's almost as ridiculous as Mr. Music Man booking a gig to the UK.
Yeah, it's like your target audience is not there. It's not big enough to carry you as a massive company like that.
No, I would play a Gibson though if I have the opportunity of obtaining one. I think it's still a Gibson. It's still a good guitar. It's still one of the best
the thing
guitars.
Is, you still can do that because so many of them exist on the second-hand market.
How do you feel about getting a second-hand guitar though?
Happy. The SG that I've got is Epiphone, but it's second-hand and it's in great condition. And the thing is as well, particularly with acoustic guitars anyway, if you get a new one, it doesn't sound as good as an old one because the wood hasn't settled yet.
Yeah, I just had a talk with Alex, my guitar player, the other day. He said the exact same thing. Because I haven't really thought about it, because I guess I'm retarded. We've already been through this, and sometimes information comes to me in a slower pace than it does to other people. So that does make sense. But if we think in a more esoteric manner, we're going back. It's just
callback.
Everything is a callback. In this one, it's just we're doing way better than the last one.
So much better. And you'll never be able to hear it.
No, unless you pay us money. Then we're uploading it for sure. $10 a piece.
Get us a sponsor on that, I dare you. We'll get InfoWars to sponsor us.
Alex Jones.
Yeah.
You're the love of my life, man.
I'll take your money, but I won't agree with you.
I wish to meet Alex Jones in person and I just shake his hand.
You see, the
talk
thing is,
about the frogs being gay for a little while.
I would feel uncomfortable around him because I think he might look at me, shout, "Commie," and then try and kill me.
Commie?
You commie bastard! No, man, that came out. I got to work on my accents, man.
Where's my goddamn coffee joker?
Don't worry if you don't get that. That's an in joke.
I was gonna go about just when you think about it. If anything, if like objects have a certain sort of aura or a certain sort of energy value, and you, for instance, your phone is your phone, and it has sentimental value, and if on any metaphysical sense that manifests in any way out of the mundane existence that we live in, musical instruments would be kind of a energy, nuclear energy plant, in terms, because a person experiencing the instrument is giving their soul, in a sense, into that. So you're receiving something that's already been literally touched by someone else, as opposed to building that's how I see it, building a relationship with the instrument yourself.
For me, it feels kind of like an antique thing. Like the older that it is, the more special it feels to me. But for me,
it has. Like,
what you're saying about,
I understand that as well. I think if I touch the proper second-hand guitar, I think I will be able to connect with it. But if I'm watching them online and just scrolling, the idea of getting a second-hand one doesn't seem as.
That's just your idea of like. That's Cleophas pornography. He just goes on like music websites and looks at the guitars and just,
I do.
He doesn't even have to like touch himself or anything because it's just a natural process and it just happens.
It's I release chemicals in my brain which for a quite quick matter of time I just feel ecstatic, and I'm not so retarded.
It's why he's actually facing away from his guitars right now, because if he looks at them, he just.
Because I just want to flex on video with them, with my beautiful. There we go. I'm gonna do it.
Well, I suppose we've only really talked about this in the first episode. It wasn't on video.
So this is my custom Epiphone. It's the Fox Fossil model. So I had this played by Gary Clark last week. He said it's not as great as going to Myles Deacon Church and experiencing the Michael Jackson Myles Deacon connection. But it's quite a decent. And on a serious note,
Come to my church and Michael Jackson will touch you.
I dreamt that Alex, or Alex Mila, as we like to refer to him, broke this while he was playing it in my sleep, and I wept like a little girl. I wept in my dream, and I woke up in sweat and tears. It was ridiculous. So yeah, it's a beautiful guitar.
I think that says something about your relationship with him.
With Alex.
Yeah.
We were just talking about guitars the other day, so I guess it makes sense. Yeah.
For me, I mean, I kind of fell out of playing my guitar for quite a while because I gone into my synthesizers and stuff and just composing music with my MIDI keyboard. But I've got blisters on my fingers again.
Nice.
I started playing properly. Yeah, it feels good.
Woo.
It's the weird thing. I mean, like you say about an instrument, it feels something special. I don't know. There is playing an instrument. You really get something. It's like nothing else in the world. It's just weird.
Even the chemicals in your brain. That's why I've always thought that old people, when they go old, should go into either video games or just learning to express themselves in like an instrument or painting or something. I think that's a very valuable thing when you go into pension and just go, and that's the biggest opportunity to create, to just express what you've learned, your wisdom and stuff.
Yeah,
and they don't really do that.
Yeah, I don't know what it's like in Bulgaria, but over here, a lot of them just end up sitting in front of the TV.
Yeah.
It's
like you've given up on life. I don't agree with that.
And they have the audacity to complain about me playing video games.
The audacity.
I am an oppressed gamer.
They have audacity on their PCs recording you playing video games. They have the audacity.
The audacity.
That's the software for the uneducated.
Yeah, we tried to record this episode on my laptop, but
your laptop said nope. I'm not gonna do that.
If I bought my proper my little iLock to record on Pro Tools, it all would have been fine. I hate iLock.
Anyways, we didn't talk about drugs. It was a conscious decision because we wanted to have a slightly lighter conversation this time, as opposed to the an hour and a half fucking political discussion we had.
It would have got back onto politics, and I don't know. Maybe if you really, 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 really want to hear what we said, and Kalofa's all right with it.
Not really, no.
I won't send you the audio. Sorry, folks.
It's the Christmas special. We're gonna keep it.
You got to pay for it. That's our Christmas present. That's your Christmas present to us. That is what you can do for Myles Deacon.
So if any of you like our beautiful accents and voices and our thoughts on all these subjects that we discussed, you can click the subscription button. You can definitely click the bell button to get notifications about these Sunday extravagant discussions we have. Because we believe we have interesting viewpoints to share with you on a lot of topics, and we would like to engage with the 20 people we have listening to us. Shout out to Kai. Sorry for not uploading the controversial one.
You see, I told you that we would go too far. Follow us on Facebook and look at the comments, because I said, it's Kai's fault, that episode. He knew the risks.
Just gets me fired up about.
You don't have to say anything. Don't worry.
I'm not gonna say anything. Okay, so.
I think this has been a good podcast.
Yep.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it at home.
Until next week. Or
do the subscribe thing. Definitely leave a like and a comment. Tell us what you think. Give us any topics you want to hear about. Like us on Facebook and Twitter. Everything's in the description below. You happy with that?
Yeah, definitely. Let's go.